I still remember the exact second everything broke. I pushed open the front door, my duffel bag heavy on my shoulder, heart racing. After months away at training, all I wanted was to hear my mom call my name, see my dad smile, feel like I belonged again. Instead, I heard laughter. Loud, celebratory. I stepped into the living room and froze. My younger brother, Ryan, was sitting in my spot. My dad, Victor, had his arm around him, grinning like he'd just won something. My mom, Elise, looked proud, emotional even. No one noticed me. Not until I said, "I'm home." The silence that followed wasn't warm. It was uncomfortable. Ryan looked at me and smirked. "Oh, you're back already," he said casually. "Already? Like I was early. Like I wasn't missed." I looked around. My photos were gone. My things, gone. What happened here? I asked. My dad sighed like I was the problem. "A lot changed while you were gone, Noah." And just like that, I felt it. This wasn't my home anymore. This was his. Sometimes the deepest pain isn't losing a place. It's realizing someone replaced you while you were gone. If that hit you, you already know. This kind of betrayal cuts deep. Then Ryan says something that makes it clear. This wasn't an accident. You made your choice. That's what my dad said next. I blinked. What? When you left, he added, arms crossed. You chose yourself. That didn't make sense. I left to serve. You were proud of me. My mom avoided my eyes. We needed you here. Needed me? I turned to Ryan. He didn't look uncomfortable. If anything, he looked ready. I stayed, he said calmly, when things got hard. What things? I asked. My dad answered. Bills, repairs, your mom got sick. My chest tightened. Why didn't anyone tell me? Ryan shrugged. You were busy. I would have come back. But you didn't, he said. That silence after, it said everything. They believed him, not me. I looked at my mom. You didn't call me. She hesitated. That hesitation told me the truth. Someone made sure she didn't. I slowly turned back to Ryan, and for the first time, I saw it clearly. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a setup. The most dangerous lies aren't loud. They're consistent. When one person controls a story, even love can be manipulated. I go upstairs, hoping something is still mine, but what I find is worse. I didn't ask permission. I just walked upstairs. I needed something, anything, that still felt like mine. But when I opened my bedroom door, I stopped breathing. It was gone. My bed? Replaced. My desk? Gone. My walls? Repainted. Everything that made that room mine had been erased. And in its place? Ryan. His clothes. His setup. His life. Even my guitar, the one I worked months to buy, was sitting in the corner like it always belonged to him. What is this? I whispered. I needed the space, Ryan said behind me. You took my room. You weren't using it. I turned sharply. I live here. You lived here, he corrected. That word hit like a punch. I looked at my parents. You let this happen. My dad rubbed his forehead. We had to adjust. Adjust? Like I didn't matter anymore? Then I saw something. A box under the bed. My box. I pulled it out slowly. It had been opened. When people erase your space, they're not just moving things. They're rewriting your place in their lives. Something important is missing from that box, and Ryan knows exactly what it is. My hands were shaking as I opened the box. Old letters. Some cash. Personal stuff I never showed anyone. But something was missing. Something important. Where is it? I asked. Ryan leaned against the wall. No idea. You went through this. You left it. I trusted the space. And that was your mistake, he said coldly. That hit harder than I expected. You had no right. I had every right, he snapped. I was the one actually here. That word again. Here. Like presence alone gave him ownership. I stood up slowly. What did you take? Nothing important, he said. That confirmed everything. Because he knew. My dad stepped in. Enough, Noah. You're making this worse. Worse? I laughed bitterly. I just got back and my entire life is gone, and I'm the problem. Ryan folded his arms. Calm again. Too calm. You're overreacting, he said. But I wasn't, because now I understood something critical. He didn't just take my place. He went looking for something specific, and he found it. When someone invades your privacy, it's never random. There's always a reason, and it's usually bigger than what they admit. At dinner, I finally hear the full story they believe, and it changes everything. Dinner felt staged, like everyone already knew their roles. Ryan spoke. They listened. I spoke. They shut down. At one point, my mom smiled at him. We don't know what we would have done without you. That hurt. Deep. What exactly did he do? I asked. Ryan leaned back like he practiced this. When you left, everything fell apart, he said. Bills stacked up. Dad couldn't handle it. Mom got sick. I stepped in. That's not what I was told, I said. Because you didn't ask the right questions, he replied smoothly. That didn't sit right. I called. I checked in. Not enough, my dad said firmly. There it was. Their version of me. The one who left. The one who didn't care. And across from me, the hero. Ryan met my eyes. Someone had to be here. But something in his tone felt rehearsed, like a story he'd told too many times. And suddenly, I didn't feel confused anymore. I felt suspicious. People don't just believe stories. They believe consistency. Repeat a lie enough, and even family starts to accept it as truth. That night, someone finally tells me, the story isn't real. I stepped outside to breathe. That's when I heard her. Noah, something's not right, is it? It was my Aunt Sophia. She looked at me like she already knew. What do you mean? I asked. She sighed. Things weren't as bad as Ryan made them seem. My heart dropped. What? Your mom wasn't that sick. Your dad wasn't struggling like that. I felt anger rise. Then why would he say that? She looked back at the house. Because he needed them to believe it. That changed everything. He has been telling people you abandoned them, she added quietly. That's not true. I know, she said. But his convincing. Convincing. That word stuck. Why didn't anyone question him? I asked. She hesitated, because he made sure no one had a reason to. Now I understood. This wasn't just lying. It was controlled, careful, planned, and suddenly, I wasn't the confused one anymore. I was the only one asking the right questions. Sometimes the truth doesn't come from inside the problem. It comes from someone outside who sees clearly. The next morning, I follow Ryan, and what I see doesn't match his story. Ryan left early the next morning. Dressed sharp, expensive watch, confident. That didn't match someone struggling. So I followed him. He didn't go to work. He went to the bank. I watched from outside as he spoke casually with the teller, like he'd done it many times. When he left, I went inside. I have a question, I said carefully. The teller hesitated, but I kept it simple. Has there been a lot of withdrawals from my family's account? She couldn't give details, but she nodded. Yes, recently. My chest tightened. Large amounts. Another nod. That was all I needed, because if money was being taken, it wasn't going where he said it was. And suddenly, his story started collapsing in my head, piece by piece. Facts don't lie. When actions don't match words, trust the pattern, not the explanation. Then I remember something missing from my box, and realize how deep this really goes. Back in my car, everything started clicking. The missing document, my savings plan, my future. If that was gone, this wasn't about replacing me. It was about becoming me. I rushed home. Did you ever see proof of the bills he paid? I asked my parents. They looked confused. No, my mom said. He handled it. My dad added. Exactly. Where did my savings go? I asked. Silence. Real silence. Because they didn't know. And for the first time, doubt entered the room. Not enough. But it was there. Ryan walked in just then. Calm. Confident. Like nothing was wrong. But I saw it now. The control, the manipulation, and the fear. Because if I was starting to question things, his entire story was at risk. Control only works when no one questions it. The moment you start asking, everything begins to shift. I confront him directly, but it backfires hard. I know you've been taking money, I said. Ryan didn't flinch. Prove it, he replied. That stopped me, because I couldn't. Not yet. And he knew it. This is what I meant, he told our parents. He comes back and blames everyone. I'm not blaming, I'm exposing you. Or projecting your guilt, he shot back. My guilt. For leaving. And just like that, they sided with him. Again. Enough, my dad said. That word hit harder than anything, because it meant I wasn't being heard. Not without proof. And in that moment, I realized something painful. Truth alone wasn't enough. I needed evidence. Being right isn't always enough. Sometimes you have to prove it, and that requires patience, not emotion. That night, I find something I was never supposed to see. I checked old messages, emails, calls, anything I missed, and then I saw it. A message from my mom's phone. Don't come back early. We're handling things. I never saw it, but it was marked as read. Deleted. My heart dropped. My mom would never write that. Which meant Ryan did. He controlled communication, blocked me out, rewrote reality, and suddenly everything made sense. I wasn't just replaced. I was erased. Manipulation isn't always loud. It's quiet control over what others see, hear, and believe. Then I overhear a phone call and realize this is bigger than family. Late that night, I heard Ryan arguing on the phone. I told you I'd handle it, he snapped. I froze. I don't have all of it yet, but I will. My heart started racing. This wasn't about helping the family. This was about debt. Stop calling me, he said before hanging up. He toned, and I barely stepped away in time. But now I knew. He wasn't just lying. He was desperate. And desperate people, they do dangerous things. Desperation can push people to betray even those closest to them, but that doesn't excuse the damage they cause. The next day, I finally get access to his phone, and everything changes. He left his phone unlocked, just for a moment. That's all I needed. Messages, transfers, names, and then, did your family believe the story? His reply, yeah, he's the bad guy now. My hands clenched. There it was. Proof, not just of what he did, but why. Control, image, money, everything. I put the phone back carefully, calm outside. But inside, everything shifted, because now I wasn't guessing. I knew. The truth always leaves a trail. You just have to be patient enough to find it. Instead of confronting him, I do something he'll never expect. I apologized. That alone shocked him. I was wrong, I said. I shouldn't have accused you. He studied me, then smiled. Yeah, he said, you shouldn't have. And just like that, his guard dropped. That's what I needed, because while he relaxed, I prepared screenshots, evidence, timing, and then I called Aunt Sophia. I'm ready, I told her. For what? She asked. I looked at the house, at exposing everything. Not in pieces, not in private, but all at once, where he couldn't control the story. I'm inviting everyone, I said. She paused, then nodded. You're setting a trap. I shook my head. No, I'm giving him a stage. And this time, the truth will be louder than his lies. Winning isn't about reacting, it's about timing. Let people think they've won, until the truth proves otherwise. The dinner is set, and he has no idea what's coming. The house felt different that night. Too quiet, too prepared. Relatives filled the living room, uncles, cousins, and of course, Aunt Sophia, who gave me a small nod. She knew what was coming. Ryan walked in like he owned everything. Confident, smiling, shaking hands, playing the role perfectly. My mom, Elise, kept praising him. My dad, Victor, repeated the same story, how Ryan saved the family. I stayed quiet, let them talk, let them build him up, because the higher he stood, the harder he would fall. When we finally sat down for dinner, Ryan raised his glass. To family, he said, even when some people forget what that means. A direct shot at me. Everyone looked, and I didn't react. Not yet, because this wasn't about emotion. This was about timing, and my moment was seconds away. Sometimes, people will disrespect you publicly because they think you won't respond. But silence isn't weakness, it's preparation. Wait for the moment that reveals everything. I stand up slowly and finally take control of the room. I want to say something, I said. The room went quiet. Ryan leaned back, confident. He thought this was my apology. I want to thank Ryan, I continued. He smirked, for showing me something important. Now he looked confused. I pulled out my phone, and I want everyone here to see it too. That's when the room shifted. I turned the screen outward, bank transfers, dates, amounts. Whispers started immediately. My dad frowned. What is that? I didn't look at him. I looked at Ryan. Do you want to explain? He laughed, but it sounded forced. This is a joke, right? No, I said calmly. This is the truth. And just like that, the power in the room started to move, away from him. You don't need to argue with lies. Just bring evidence. Truth, when shown clearly, doesn't need to be defended. Ryan tries to talk his way out, but I reveal something he can't deny. It's not what it looks like, Ryan said quickly. I nodded. You're right. That threw him off. Then I showed the messages. The exact one. Yeah, he's the bad guy now. I'm covered. Silence. Heavy. Unavoidable. My mom covered her mouth. My dad stared at Ryan like he didn't recognize him. That's fake. Ryan snapped. Then unlock your phone, I said calmly. Show everyone. He didn't move. Not a step. Not a word. And that silence, it exposed everything. Because people don't stay quiet when they're innocent. They stay quiet when they're caught. Truth doesn't just come from what people say. It comes from what they can't defend. Silence can be louder than any excuse. My dad stands up and asks the question Ryan was never ready for. Why? My dad asked. Not angry. Broken. Ryan looked around the room. Cornered. Then he snapped. Because I was tired of being second, he shouted. Gasps filled the room. There it is, he said, pointing at me. The perfect one. The one everyone believed in. That's not true, my mom whispered. Yes, it is, he yelled. He leaves and still gets praised. I stay and I'm invisible. His voice shook now. So I made them see me, he said. And suddenly, it all made sense. This wasn't just about money. This was about years of jealousy, resentment, feeling unseen. But instead of speaking about it, he destroyed everything. Jealousy doesn't start big. It builds quietly over time. And if it's never addressed, it can turn into something that ruins everything. But jealousy wasn't the only reason, and I revealed the final piece. There's more, I said. Ryan's head snapped toward me. Stop. But I didn't. He owes money, I said. The room froze again. A lot of it. My dad sat down slowly. What? I showed the call logs, the messages, the transfers. He wasn't helping this family, I said. He was using it. That's not, Ryan tried. Then explain it, I said. He couldn't, because this time, there was no story left, no control, no escape. Everything he built was collapsing, right in front of everyone. When someone lies to cover a problem, they don't fix it, they multiply it. And eventually, everything comes crashing down at once. Desperate, Ryan makes one final move and tries to blame me again. This is your fault. Ryan shouted. The room turned. If you never left, none of this would have happened. There it was. The final card. Blame. You abandoned us, he added. But this time, no one believed him. Enough, my dad said firmly. Ryan froze. For the first time, my dad wasn't on his side. You don't get to blame him for your choices, he said. That was it. The shift was complete. Ryan looked around, but there was no support left. No control. No power. Just consequences. Blame only works when people are willing to believe it. The moment truth is clear, blame loses all power. Ryan realizes he's lost everything and walks out. The door slammed. And then, silence. Heavy, emotional, real. No one spoke. My mom was crying. My dad looked lost. "I'm sorry," she whispered to me. That hurt, because it meant you believed me now, but didn't before. My dad finally said, "We failed you." Simple, honest, and for the first time since I came back, I felt seen, not replaced, not blamed. Seen, but healing, that would take time. Sometimes, the hardest part isn't being hurt. It's knowing the people you trusted didn't see the truth sooner. Days later, we hear what happened to Ryan, and it's worse than we expected. It didn't take long. Ryan's world started collapsing fast. The people he owed money to, they didn't wait. Legal trouble, pressure, everything closing in. He called once. I didn't answer, not out of anger, but because this was something he had to face. Alone, just like I did. My parents wanted to help, but this time, they hesitated, because now they understood. Saving him before is what allowed this to happen. Helping someone avoid consequences might feel like love, but real love sometimes means letting them face the results of their actions. Then one night, Ryan comes back. It was late when he showed up. No confidence, no attitude, just quiet. "I messed up," he said. No excuses this time. My mom cried, but didn't run to him. My dad stood firm. "You need to fix this," he said. Ryan nodded slowly. Then he looked at me, and for the first time, he didn't look like my rival. He looked broken. But even then, something felt unfinished. Admitting you're wrong is a first step, but it doesn't erase the damage. Growth starts there, not ends there. Before leaving again, Ryan asked me one question I didn't expect. "Do you hate me?" Ryan asked quietly. The room went still. I looked at him, really looked, and I saw it. Not just what he did, but what he became. "I don't hate you," I said. His eyes softened. "But I don't trust you either." That hit him harder than anything, because hate can fade, but broken trust, that takes time. He nodded slowly, like he understood. Then he left, and this time, no one stopped him. Forgiveness and trust are not the same. You can let go of anger without letting someone back into your life. Months pass, and everything changes. Life didn't go back to normal. It became something better, more honest. My parents changed. They listened more, questioned more, trusted actions, not just words. And me? I rebuilt everything. My space, my plans, my future. Not by taking anything back, but by proving I never lost who I was. And that mattered more than anything, because I wasn't fighting for a place anymore. I was building one. Sometimes losing everything forces you to rebuild stronger. And what you rebuild with truth can never be taken again. There's just one final lesson this story leaves behind. Looking back, I understand everything now. Ryan didn't just want my place. He wanted to feel seen, valued, important. But instead of earning it, he tried to take it. And in doing that, he lost everything. As for me, I didn't win by fighting him. I won by staying patient, by finding the truth, and letting it speak. Because here's what I learned. Jealousy, when ignored, can turn into destruction. Blind trust without questioning can hurt the wrong person. You don't need revenge to win. Truth, patience, and self-control are enough. You can be replaced in someone's mind. But being replaced doesn't mean you've lost your value. You can be misunderstood, even blamed. But your truth, that never changes. And when it finally comes out, it doesn't just clear your name. It shows people who you really are. If you've ever been replaced, blamed, or misunderstood, don't rush to react. Build your truth. Let it rise. Because in the end, truth doesn't just win. It exposes everything. White right pointing backhand index if this story moved you. Share it. Someone out there needs this reminder.